Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. So at the weekend we did Portman BE100. We were on the fence about going for quite a while because obviously we've had no rain. I did quite a lot of homework on the ground, how they aerate the ground and do things like that. So I've never been to Portman before, so I was unaware of what the ground truly was like. I did wait for the Mark Lucy report and read into that, and I did quite a lot of homework on him. So if you get a chance, have a look at him on Facebook because it's very interesting. It's science, and I do believe science doesn't lie. They're facts and figures. So go and have a look at them. Also, Lucy and Genesis from Eventing Journey kindly sent me a few videos of the ground and also horses travelling along the ground, so I could hear whether there was footfall or not. And so that actually encouraged us to go. The morning of, me and Paul did agree that if he at all was starting to come backwards at me, I would just pull him up and we would just come home. So that was fine. So that was the agreement we had. So the ground was actually covered in moss and a very dense layer of short grass with longer layers on top. So the coverage of the ground was really very, very good. So moving on to the dressage, you can see that it's obviously quite tense, and it's almost like the old Murphy has returned, so the consistency isn't there. So this is where he becomes behind my leg, and because he's so sensitive, we're very similar in personality, so we're quite reactive but sensitive at the same time. Any small movement that I do, he is just going to make it look like a massive movement. So he'll buck here in a minute. I do think that it's probably something to do with me not doing so much homework at home because of the ground being so hard. I have really made a conscious decision not to work him hard at home unless it's on an arena, on the sand, on a beach, etc., etc. So I have been really careful with that. So maybe it is to do with that, because I ran through this test I think once in a higher arena a couple of days before, and it was tense then. So I do think that he is one of those horses that will need as much work as possible running up to the event to keep him more on my side, and that's the whole point of this. We are teammates, and I need to remember that I can only ask him certain questions. I am fully aware. So I can't really blame him for the result because we just didn't get enough practice in. So we did get a 36.3. Slightly disappointed. I didn't think it was as bad as that, but clearly it was. So we move on to the show jumping, which is the fun bit. So I can't believe I'm actually saying it's the fun bit now. So I walked the course and I loved it. I actually think this kind of course suited him better than like quite an open arena. It's still quite open, but it had like obstacles in the way, like the trees. We came over to number 1. I got my stride perfect, and then I got 8 strides for number 2, and they were quite tight strides, and he pops the pole out with his back end. So I'm thinking, I don't want to ruin my canter, so maybe I need to push him on a bit more forwards because I just wooed him up for that striding. Now he gets every single combination spot on, and his strides are spot on. It's just maybe we're a bit close. The rest of the round goes super. I just thoroughly enjoyed it, and also I didn't get lost, so I actually did my part until fence 8. So we're just coming up to fence 7 now, A and B. And I do worry about planks, which is fence 8, and I knew it's a dog leg to the final fence, fence 9, to my right, and he does tend to jump right anyway. So we land on the inside line, and I've mucked up my line. I actually apologise to him, that was completely my fault. So 1 pole for him and 1 pole for me. Now on to cross country. You'll hear Murphy go across the ground in a moment, so I'll be quiet. So there's a bit of what Paul's filmed, which is perfect, and a bit of Equiril, because I thought that would be a very good investment. And I love it. It is definitely the best run we've had at 100. So there you can see that, or hear that we didn't thunder up the hill and the ground didn't sound too bad. So now I'm going to be quiet and you can watch the Equiril. I literally am still buzzing over this round. I'm so pleased with him. To me, it was foot perfect, and we met every fence pretty spot on. So that's why I invested, because it's a lot of money, but I'm so glad I invested in it, because I got the reel as well. So yeah, some of the fences were shared with the novice, which I always love that when you see the yellow next to it. I'm like, ooh, that's quite good, that's quite impressive. So yeah, I'm going to be quiet now and you can watch it. Forest roll top at 15 in the middle of the course. Christopher Windsor and Tinkerbell van den Molenbeek, owned by Tom Grant, comes towards the combination at 8 and 9. In fact, they're so quick through that they've flown through 8 and 9, head on now back towards us and control towards the Ginny's Dairy picnic table. Do you imagine that Tinkerbell van den Molenbeek has the stable name, because that would be an awfully big mouthful if you're trying to summon it across the crowd in a field. Lizette Jackson and Matthew Gauntlet through to finish, having jumped the final fence. Midline crisis paying off for her. So there you have it, a lovely clear round for Murphy, and I'm going to leave the next bit in again so you can just hear the commentary that I wrote in the comments when putting my entry in. And I'm so glad Equireel caught it as well. Paul did catch it, so you might have heard it already, but yeah, so funny. So there we have it. We have now completed BE100 at Portman. We will definitely be going back next year. It was quite an influential track, so that was good. And we only had 2 down out of not many clears. And we very nearly got our top 10, so it's our best result so far.